Hi, finally you are going to create your website or, well, in today's video I'm going to talk about why you should prepare your website before you're actually creating it. And today I want you to use pencil and paper to write everything down before. And why do I want you to do that? Yes, that's because it's something when you're instead of using a computer and using a paper and a pen, it creates a connection between your brain and what you're creating on paper. And you also get a picture of what it is you're creating in another way. In another way. And if you want to have a name of this, this is called I don't. Okay, structure. Structure sketch. A sketch of structure. Maybe that's not the English name for it, but it's a way of preparing for having better usability on your website. That's why it's good to do this. So, if you remember from the other video, I spoke about this with menu system, and it's good to have just one menu system. And you have two choices. You have this one in this direction, or you can choose to have it down. But it's also good to have, no, what should I say? I saw something else here. Yeah, it's good to do your choice what you want to do, but it also is good to have it. You start with this home and the on the website that's a button, because if your visitor is here in the about me field, it's easier to go home and find a way home. So that's why that is good. Or if they are staying on the contact field. What I saw here when I took this one from Swedish to English is home is always the most left, or the first one, also home or start. But actually, it would have been better to have about me before contact. So you have it in alphabetical order, because that is easier to see. No, not so much text, but especially if you're doing a lot of menu bars. No, not menu bars, but those small buttons and so on. Those places with information. It's good to have them in alphabetical order. But you will also see that maybe you not have to do this when you're using the template. It depends on which template you're using. Maybe you'll find a template that everything is on one page and you just scroll down to find it. And then it's good if it's not too long, too much information on it. But at the same time, good information. So here on the contact, okay, this is a Swedish spelling. That's fine. Okay, contact, your contact page. You can choose if you want to have a form for contact. And I was looking for a contact form here in Canva to use to show it for you. But that was in the pro version, so I couldn't find anyone in the free version. So that's why I created it like this, just to give a glimpse of those contact forms that you can put in your name, your email, and the user in this case, if they have questions to you, they can write in this field with free text to write the questions and you can answer to it. Or if you don't want that contact form, but I think that's a really good way of using those. But if you not want to have them, you can just put your mail and or your mobile phone. And just be aware that is a place that they actually can reach you. If you're like me, a person that not using the mobile phone so much, I'm looking at it a few times a day. I'm not having the signals on or something because I want it to be quiet and calm when I want to work. And I know that I always can find the people that are needed to be reached if they contact me. But personally, I'm not choosing to have my mobile phone as an alternative. And maybe I've heard a lot of persons say, but you must have and you must have a lot of options. But I would prefer to ask what is right for you? What is the best for you so your audience can reach you, but still best for you, but also good way for your audience. Because if you're feeling overwhelmed, is it then necessarily right for you and for your audience? Yeah, and maybe you have your social media. So maybe you can put some information about where they can go to read more about you, to read about what you have done in Facebook or whatever. But if you're not using that, so just a place for your people to be able to reach you. And then you have this about me page. And you can think of questions who that your people want to have answers on. Like, who are you? Because if they are seeing you for the first time, how could you connect to them in a way so they feel that you are trustworthy? Who are you? And what do you do? And why did you choose LiveGood? What is it your followers actually want to know? And how can they recognize themselves in the text you have put in your website? And then also it's good to think about how you write this. Or you write it in the way of a first person or a third person. And this is also why it's good to have this pen and paper to write it down. Let's say, pretend here that you are Maria Anderson and you are going to create your website. Then you can choose to always say me and I. I am a mom with two kids and I'm working as a caretaker. I take care of elderly people, or I'm a nurse, or whatever. And when I'm not working, I love to grow flowers and so on. But I have felt so overwhelmed with my job, so I really decided to have it in a just another way because I felt that I was just I was almost getting older with my work more than I had been if I hadn't had that stressy work. So I decided to change. Then Maria is describing herself as a first person, but you can also decide to describe yourself. Maria Anderson, she's a work. She worked as a nurse, but she felt overwhelmed and she was so tired and she never had time for her children, and she really, 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 really needed a change for that. But maybe you're not uh, doubling the words so many times, but she really needed a change in her life to be able to to be a mom at all, uh, because it was so stressing and it was so, and therefore Maria chose to. So you see the difference here by telling something in the first person perspective or the third person perspective, and choose one and stick to that, so it's easier to read for your reader. And then you can ask yourself, what do your visitors want to know? And that is your story. Because when you are telling your story, you are giving them something to connect with. And actually, what I did before here, when I spoke about Maria, that was kind of a storytelling. That was storytelling about Maria. Uh, so someone who's in the almost same situation feels, oh, could she do that? Then, oh, I want to follow. What did she do? And they feel more attracted to you as a person. Because when you ask the question, how can they recognize themselves? It's also in your story. And if you attended in the video where you could create your ideal person, you can use that. You can use that, or your ideal affiliate, I think I named it. Then you can use that in your storytelling to be able to reach people in a deeper level. And one thing that I haven't um, written so much about, but also in the About Me page, a picture of you, and a picture, a new picture of you. That is something that are helping your site to be trustworthy. So people can see who you are, that it is an actual person behind it, and that they can feel like this. And maybe you have heard people say, but you shouldn't do a selfie, that's not good, that's not enough. My question to you is it better to get started, or is it better to just try to find the best way? And what if that's not something that you can say about all your persons? Because I say like that, please rather go and put yourself a great selfie with a background that is calm. Or if you do like this, a selfie where you remove the background. So you don't have a background, but in some way creating it to your website and put it on your website. Because if you're not having that person around you that are able to take a photo, well, it will take longer time. And if you not feel yourself good enough for be the photograph, try to find someone, a friend or someone who can help you with your photo. The most important thing is that it's clear, so you can see, and it's not like this. Oh, you don't see what is on. It's dizzy. So a clear picture, and just do it, and just start to do it, because you can change things later on in the progress. But if you're taking too much time just to sitting there and choose and so on, you will use your time to just choose, and maybe that's an excuse for procrastination. Okay, so what about this home place? You can look at that page. You remember this one where people always can come back to. You can look at that page as your storefront. It's here you want to have people and just come see. That's here you want to get them a picture of the offer of the company, something that attracts them to stay. You can also see it as your book cover, the place. If you're going to a library or to a bookstore and you don't actually know which book you want to read or to have, someone had put that book with the front, so you can see the front. That's the thing that maybe say yes or no to you to take that book. And that could be like this also in your web page. This is what your visitors are going to see. This is what they use for the yes or no. So you can also pretend you have like an actual storefront in the real life. What would you had put out to be most visible in your real storefront? I hope you are following me in the thoughts that a way of thinking to give you some ideas of what you can put in your what is most important. Because what is it that attracts your visitors? And what is the most important thing you want to show on your storefront, on your book cover, your first page? But as I have said earlier, creating websites is a lot about doing um, a lot of things, and there are a lot of things that are important. But I'm not going through everything today because I just want you to start. But you can have a knowledge of a glimpse of what is good to work on with further on. And one important thing is about SEO, search engine optimization. And that was what is used if someone are searching for your um, searching for LiveGood. The SEO is the way that where people can find special keywords. If they you can see it in Google and so on, but I'm not going to dig in deeper in that. But it's also possible to do that. But I think if you're not in this area, if you're not um, if you're just wondering what I'm talking about, it's better just to start to create and then add more and more later. But if you think it's good for you, and if you're, I know about this, well, just feel free to dig in deeper and do it also. But as I said, I want you to be able to have your website up and running. And it's also about important this about that your site is valid, that it's up to date. And if you can put both a month and a year, that's really good. Created in June 2023. Because when you are updating, people can see that it's not an old website. And in this case of LiveGood, that's not a really good example. But if you find yourself a website somewhere created like 2006 that I told about in another video, maybe you will think of, is this really valid? And you want your visitors to rely on your website. So therefore, it's very good if you can do this, to put this in the footer um, at your web page. And if you are using, maybe I've seen some people are using, they put in regularly if they have another place, social media or something that they are using. If they are using YouTube, for example, they sometimes they are just fills the website with more links with the latest YouTube or something. And that's also a way of so the user can see that it's actually something is happening on the website, so it's not a normal one. But have fun and feel the joy of your creating. I think that is a really, really, really important thing, because if you just think this is, well, where will that take you? If you're instead having fun and feel, wow, this is amazing. Did I do that? And if you can put yourself in the outer perspective to watch what you actually have done. But the most important is to start. Because if you don't start, when it will be a form of procrastination, always finding the best solution, always finding the best thing, and instead of doing something, you're just searching. And I know all about that because I have been taking so much time in my life to search for better solutions and so on. But that's also why I am here that I am now. That you'd better do it imperfectly. Just start. Do it imperfectly. Because you always have, you can always go back if you want to. Or you can find out when you have had started and did do it that, well, okay, this is enough for now. And I can use that. So what will move you most forward to your goal? So thank you for participating in this presentation. And I wish you good luck with your creating. And I want to have a really, really great and fantastic day. Bye.